You can have all the money, power, and success in the world, but without real relationships, you'll still feel empty. True connection isn't about how many people are around you. It's about who would still be there if you lost everything. Have you ever stopped to ask, who would show up if I had nothing left to give? In a world driven by status, speed, and surface-level smiles, we often forget the one thing that makes life truly meaningful: genuine relationships. Not followers, not contacts, not acquaintances, but real, heart-deep, soul-connected relationships. The ones that don't measure your worth by your wins, but by your willingness to be real. Today, I want to tell you why true relationships matter more than we realize, and how they often reveal themselves in the most unexpected ways. Story 1. The Empty Celebration. There was once a man named Adrian. On paper, his life was perfect. He had a thriving business, a penthouse view, designer suits, and a car that turned heads. People admired him. They envied him. They wanted to be him. One evening, Adrian threw a grand birthday party. The guest list was full of big names: celebrities, influencers, executives. The venue shimmered with lights, the music pulsed with energy, and the champagne never stopped flowing. But sometime around midnight, Adrian slipped away from the crowd and went upstairs. He stood on the balcony, looking down at the party he had spent thousands of dollars to host, and felt nothing. In that moment, surrounded by hundreds, he had never felt more alone. Why? Because despite the crowd, not a single person at that party knew his mother had passed away 3 months ago. Not one asked how he was really doing. Not one knew that every night he came home to silence and wondered if all this success was worth it. That night he realized something. You don't feel lonely because no one is around. You feel lonely when no one truly sees you. Truth check. You see, true relationships aren't measured by how often someone likes your posts or how long they've known you. They're measured by presence, not just physical, but emotional. By the people who show up in silence, who sit with you when words aren't enough, who remember the small things, like your favorite song or the way your voice changes when you're pretending to be okay. We live in a time where we're more connected than ever, and yet emotionally more distant. We confuse connection with communication, presence with proximity, loyalty with convenience. Story 2. The Cup of Tea. Let me tell you about Maya and her grandmother. Maya was always busy. She had a demanding job, a growing social media presence, and a calendar full of meetings and events. Her grandmother lived just a short drive away, but months would pass without a visit. "I'll go next weekend," Maya would always say. "She understands I'm busy." One day, Maya received a call. Her grandmother had been hospitalized. Panicked, she rushed to the hospital. When she arrived, her grandmother smiled weakly and said, "I kept your favorite tea ready every Sunday, just in case you came." Maya broke down. It wasn't the hospital bed that crushed her. It was the thought of a lonely old woman setting out 2 cups every weekend, still believing her granddaughter would walk through the door. Real relationships aren't built in grand gestures. They're built in consistent presence, in choosing to show up, especially when it's inconvenient. Lesson: the gift of time and attention. We often think we'll make time later, but later is never promised. And relationships, unlike careers or possessions, can't be put on pause. They either grow or they die. They thrive on attention, on care, on truth, not on perfection, but on presence. Think about it. When was the last time you reached out just to say, "I'm thinking of you," instead of "I need something"? When was the last time you sat down with someone and really listened, not to respond, but to understand? Story 3. The Fire Test. There was a small-town baker named Thomas. Everyone loved him, his smile, his stories, his bread. But one night, a fire burned his entire shop to the ground. All gone. Years of sweat and sacrifice. Ashes. The next morning, Thomas stood outside the blackened shell of what used to be his dream. and something incredible happened. Dozens of people showed up. A farmer brought eggs. A friend brought flour. The school teacher brought her savings jar. Even the town mayor rolled up his sleeves and helped clean. One by one, they all came, not because of obligation, but because of relationship. Because Thomas had spent years feeding not just stomachs, but hearts. He had given more than bread. He had given kindness, consistency, presence, and that was returned in his darkest hour. True relationships are revealed when the fire comes, not when things are perfect, but when everything falls apart and someone still says, "I've got you." Right now, take a moment and ask yourself, who in your life would answer the phone at 2 a.m. without hesitation? Who can you be totally unfiltered with, without fear of being judged? If the list is short, it's not too late. Build, invest, deepen. If the list is long, be grateful, and protect it like treasure. Real relationships, what they look like. Here's how you'll know a true relationship. You can sit in silence and still feel connected. You can disagree and still feel respected. You can fail, and they don't flinch. You can be raw, real, and messy. And they stay. These aren't the people who show up when you're winning. They're the ones who refuse to leave when you're not. In the end, a rich life isn't filled with riches. It's filled with relationships. Not everyone in your life is meant to stay. That's okay. But when you find the ones who truly matter, cherish them. Nurture them. Say, "Thank you." Say, "I love you." Say, "I'm sorry," when needed. Because at the end of your journey, it won't be your resume or your follower count that holds your hand. It'll be the ones you loved. And the ones who loved you, even when you had nothing left to give. If this message touched your heart, share it with someone who matters to you. Remind them of your love. Don't wait. Don't assume. Don't postpone presence. Because true relationships are the real wealth of life. Thank you for watching this video. Like, share, comment your opinion. Subscribe to my channel now to receive great videos every day.